Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, Converse with Kayla. So this is my second attempt at doing YouTube, but this time I'm very serious because I'm actually taking my time to create my content and make it be very professional, I think. Yeah, so my channel is basically going to be about psychology, mental health and wellness. And I thought I'd start off the first video by naming a few things that I wish I knew before studying psychology. So also a bit of background into myself. So I'm a recent psychology honors graduate and I'm from South Africa. So I've been meaning to do this channel in terms of sharing my experience of studying psychology in South Africa and talking about mental health and wellness, because I will be in next year I will be doing a course that leads me to become a registered counselor. And initially I thought I'd take a completely different path, but this is where I am. So I'd like to share experiences of mine in psychology for the past 4 years and just help people who are doing psychology, maybe first year, or people who have thought about studying psychology but they don't know where to apply, or they just want to have more insight into what it takes to study psychology or what the course entails. So I've written a few things down in my notebook and I'm gonna read these things that I wish I knew before studying psychology. So I'm still figuring out my seating position and my background and all that stuff. So if I move around a lot, I'm very sorry. I'm just trying to find the perfect spot to sit in and the position and whatnot. Okay, so I separated these things into categories. So the first one's academics, and then the second one is social life, and then the third one is mental health. I'm so sorry about the sound outside. I live in in a half circle actually, and so we live very close to the people next to us. I know people live close to people next to them, their neighbors, but yeah, there's a lot of sounds outside. But yeah, I think that's what makes the video real and very realistic, and that's how I want my videos to be very real and raw and yeah, authentic. So that's what I'm going for. So in terms of academics, I wish I knew how overwhelming studying psychology really can be, because I never actually would have seen myself studying psychology and going this far and becoming a postgraduate student. But that's a video for another day where I'm going to explain how I got into psychology and everything. But it's very overwhelming because it's very theory based, so it's a lot of theory and knowledge that you have to retain, so it can be quite overwhelming and you might feel like you can't cope or you're struggling to take in all of this information. But what I can say is that it does get better and you will find your feet eventually. So the second thing is finding your study style or your study preference. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Yeah. Finding your study style or your study preference is really important, I feel. And I wish I knew that earlier, because obviously it's a very big jump from high school to university, and the way you take in information is way different. So it's not like there's a teacher standing in front of you and you taking down notes, or even you taking down information word for word. So you have to learn to know how you take in information, how you study, what's your preference, so that you can implement that in uni. Because like I say, psychology is very heavy theory based, so you're gonna have to find a way to summarize things and just take information so that it doesn't feel too overwhelming or information overload. And then another very important aspect of psychology is that there's a lot of reading involved. So if you're not a person who likes reading, then psychology is not really for you, because there's a lot of articles you're gonna have to read, and it's also very much research based. So a lot of assignments and stuff will be based on research that you have to go and do and articles that you have to read. And sometimes it can be very frustrating because you'll like read 10 articles just for like this little bit of information, but it's very fulfilling. I can say that it's very rewarding at the end of the day. So I think that's what like keeps me going. But that's just one of the realities of studying psychology. And then another thing is always aim for high marks. So this is obviously what everyone will say, like always aim to get high marks. Don't just aim to get like the bare minimum or like 50%, because in psychology it's a very competitive field. Like as you go on in psychology, and if you want to do your masters or something like that, it's really important for you to like get above average marks, and it is possible. So you just have to like really put your head together and stick to it, and like just have a good plan and schedule in terms of studying and just doing really well. Like just put your best foot forward and always just aim to get the best marks possible. And then finding a study group or like being part of a study group or creating one, whatever, it's really important, and it really helps to give you that support, because like I said, it's not like school or high school that we're all used to, where like there's a teacher who can assist you and so forth. Not that the lecturers won't help you, it's just that it's so beneficial or advantageous to be part of a study group where like you with people with the same mindset, like-minded like you, and everyone has the same goal of doing well, and you just encourage and support each other. I was part of a study group, and those ladies that I was in the study group with, they really honestly like made my study experience so much better, because I did my second and third year during COVID, and like everything was online, and if it wasn't for them, yeah, no, I don't know what would have happened. So I'm very grateful for that. And then do not cram. With psychology, as I've mentioned, it's a lot of theory. So as with anything in life, don't really not have a plan, and don't just read things without retaining stuff. Like study and study well and study hard, so that when tests and exams come, you like prepared for it. So do not try studying the night before, a week before, a few days before. Like it's not gonna work, and it will show in your marks, and you know you're not gonna feel happy about that. So just like do better and just improve on yourself always and all that. And then volunteering is also really important in psychology. So you don't necessarily have to volunteer somewhere like that's psychology related, but if you can, that's like a real benefit. So just try get involved in the community. It doesn't matter where you're studying, like or what university you at or anything. You can be at a private institution. Just try and volunteer as much as you can, and try and like help out with the community. And in this way, you're also really educating yourself about other people, about cultures, and just meeting a lot of new people, getting a lot of uh, fresh perspectives on life and so forth, and that helps you grow as well. Because as a mental health professional, or as someone who is going into the mental health field, I feel like it's very important for you to like really learn a lot about yourself, and also expand your networks outside of like who you really are. So it's really important to meet people on your path that really challenge you, and also just bring out the best in you. So volunteer, and volunteer at as many places as you can. Obviously don't like do too much and then you like burn out yourself, but just get involved, that's all. And then also be part of like a society, like a psych society or any cultural society, where you go and like do some type of initiatives, like um, cleaning up the beaches, or like looking after the elderly, or playing with kids, or going to visit special needs children, or anything like that. So just be part of something, and just like I mentioned before, grow your network, and just also see what are like the needs in the community, in like whichever place you live, and always try to bridge a gap in whatever way, in whatever small way that you can. And then in terms of social life, what I've learned is that, or what I wish I knew earlier but I know now, is that it's so important to make friends that are outside of psych, outside of your university, outside of your psychology classes. It's so important to make friends outside of that because you need other people to interact and socialize with that are not in your class and who do not talk psychology related things and who can show you their interests and hobbies, and you guys can connect on another level with different things that you find interesting and so forth. So yeah, and also genuine friends. I know like it may be hard in this generation to really find genuine friends, but I'm like confident that there are still good people out there. So it's really important to make genuine friends with who you can trust and people who support you, people who root for you, and people who just want the best for you, and also people that you can do wholesome things with. You know, people who can really you can go for like breakfast with, or like brunch dates, or just something that's wholesome, something that's fulfilling for you and doesn't drain you and all that. Because like studying psychology can be very draining sometimes, especially like mentally and emotionally, and that's not even getting to the part where you do actual like practicals and you actually have to work with people. I'm just talking about actually studying the theory of psych. It's a lot. And then another thing is having boundaries. We all know boundaries are really important, and I feel like it's important across all relationships. It doesn't just have to be with a romantic relationship. It can be with your like parents or your friends. And in this case, I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about how important it is to have boundaries, because I know that like, and I'm talking about a university experience within this as well. So it's important to like remember that although like you're going to university and you're gaining like your independence and you're becoming the man or woman that you really want to be, and creating this life for yourself, it's also important to, when you do make friends, have boundaries in place that people don't overstep and people can't take advantage of, and that you're like an assertive person. Because I know it's really hard to be that type of person sometimes, because people like who have a lot of empathy, they feel very connected to people and their emotions and helping them and always being there. But you also have to like show up for yourself a lot and show up for yourself more than anyone else, especially when you're going to be working in the mental health field. You are the tool that are going to be helping people, so you need to look after yourself. And I'm sorry I'm saying tool, it's not like I'm saying that we are like instruments or like a product, but yes, that's like we say that in mental health. We say like you are the tool that needs to help people, so you need to sharpen that tool in terms of like increasing your competence and your knowledge always in terms of the mental health field, but also self-care. Like it's really important to look after yourself and just don't go to places, or don't go in situations, don't put yourself in situations that you know is not good for you and it's not beneficial. So really like have that energy of, I'm doing this because I want better for myself and I know my worth and all of that. Like, I know you guys catch my drift. And then in terms of mental health, so there's one thing that I really learned was so important, and I'm plugging all psychology students because this will really help you later on in life. And it's such a good thing to do for yourself. It's such a rewarding thing to do, and you feel so fulfilled. Well, that's just my opinion, but whoever resonates with this, they'll resonate. So self-reflection is so important, and one thing I wish I knew, it's so important to be okay with knowing that, okay, I'm going to be helping people one day, I'm going to make a difference in people's lives, I'm gonna impact someone's life in a really positive way, or as best as I can. In that same way, it's important to also listen to yourself and listen to your needs and your feelings. And in studying psychology, like a lot of things that may have happened to you, or a lot of trauma you have gone or undergone, or things that have really you've pushed under the rug, let me say, it comes up a lot, and it's important for you to deal with that. So it's important for you to self-reflect on maybe why you feel a certain way, or why you do this, or why you do that, and just be aware of your own motives and your own behavior in the way you come across. And then journaling, so that's one way to do that. Journaling is important to jot down your feelings, jot down things, and just be able to put it out there and for it to be tangible, for you to be able to see and visualize, this is what's going on, this is what I'm experiencing. And it's so, like I said, fulfilling, because you can like read through that and you can start to conceptualize what's going on instead of just having all these thoughts in your head. So just like put it down on paper, or whatever way works for you. You know, if you are a more creative person and you put it out as a painting or a drawing or a sketch or an image or a diagram, anything that works for you, just find a way to also let go of emotions or let go of things and just put it out there, so that you can be a better person and you can focus more on yourself and you can become the best version of yourself, so that you are able to help people to the best of your ability. And obviously this is like a lifelong journey and like thing, it doesn't just happen overnight. So like you're not just gonna be journaling for like 2 weeks and suddenly you're like the best version of yourself. So yeah, it's a journey. Psychology teaches you so much about yourself. It teaches you a lot about others. A clinical psychologist that I look up to a lot once told me that psychology takes away your innocence in life. And I always wondered, what did she mean by that? Like, what does that mean? And I realized what she meant by that was that, like, psychology makes you see things for how they really are. And sometimes that can be very scary. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming. Sometimes you can get really anxious, even just the thought of that. So, psychologists sometimes come across as people who are very, like, their demeanor looks very scary, and you don't know if they're approachable or they look like they're just lost in their own thoughts. But it's just because me in the future, but it's just because psychologists really have to, they invest a lot of themselves, like they give a part of themselves to other people in order to help them. And that's what I love so much about psychology, is that one day I'll be giving parts of me instead of something that's more monetary or materialistic in nature. And I just feel so like fulfilling, because I'm using the whole of me to help another person see a different perspective, or just cope better with whatever situation they may be going through. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos. Let me know in the comments if you, my viewers, are interested in seeing any specific videos. I'm very much open to answering any questions about psychology and so forth. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications and share my videos and just spread love and kindness. Thank you.